LANDR versus Symphonic. Which music distributor is best for you and your needs as a music artist? Well, first off, let's look at what plans we are comparing here. So we're comparing the Symphonic starter plan, which is for new artists, versus the LANDR distribution basic. The thing with Symphonic is they have a couple of different plans. So they've got really their starter plan is really their main plan, and they have this partner plan, which is like completely different. And from what I understood, where you're basically splitting royalties with Symphonic to some degree. So that's why we're comparing their starter plan. And then the most comparable plan that LANDR had was their distribution basic plan. Also, full disclosure, I actually use LANDR myself. I've used numerous distributors in the past. I've used CD Baby, I've used DistroKid, and now I use LANDR. So that's what I'm using. But just because I use LANDR doesn't mean you should use LANDR. Maybe Symphonic fits your needs better. That's what we'll see in this video. Also, this video is sponsored by LANDR, so big thanks to them for supporting the channel. So pricing. So how do these compare in terms of pricing? Well, LANDR is $23.99 a year. Symphonic is $19.99 a year. And so Symphonic is about $4 a year cheaper. So pretty negligible. LANDR also gives you flexible pricing options. So you can release, just pay per release. So if you're going to just release one album a year and like that's all you plan on doing, then that's just, you know, $19 fee. And you don't have to pay a subscription. Or if you're just going to release a single or two, it's $9 per single. So that flexible pricing, I think, makes LANDR the slight winner there. Then you have earnings, and they both pay you 100% of your earnings, of your royalties. They don't take a cut. So that is really awesome. So they tie here. Distribution, they both distribute to over 150 plus platforms. Symphonic says 200 plus. Are there 200 plus platforms out there? I had no idea. That's crazy. So you could say Symphonic's a little bit better here, but I think it's pretty much a wash at that point, because how much extra streams are you getting for those extra 50 unknown platforms? I don't know. So they're both really good when it comes to distribution. But just so you know, just releasing your music out into the world, putting it on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, what have you, that alone isn't going to grow your Spotify streams and actually earn you income, because you need to actually promote your music on these platforms before they will promote you. And so if you want to know how you can do this, grab my free ebook, Spotify Playlist Secrets. Just go to orpheusaudioacademy.com/Spotify Secrets. And this walks you through a proven step-by-step system for how you can get your music onto playlists and trigger the Spotify algorithms, so Spotify actually starts to promote your music for you. And this is a system that a lot of indie artists are using to grow their Spotify income to anywhere from like $500 to $1,000 a month just on royalties alone. And there's also some strategies on here how you can make up to $1,000 a month without even getting any streams, just using your own Spotify playlist. A lot of goodies in here with a lot of examples from successful independent artists that are using these strategies. So definitely grab this free book. Go to orpheusaudioacademy.com/Spotify Secrets. All right, so number of artists. How do these platforms compare when it comes to how many artists you can upload music under? Well, both are plans. They only let you release music under one artist. So if you have multiple artists or band names you want to release music under, you would have to, you know, sign up for a whole new account. If you're Symphonic, so now you're like doubling how much you're paying per month, tripling if you have 3 artists. With LANDR, you can just upgrade your plan to their middle tier, and that gives you 5 artists for not a whole lot of extra per year. You're only paying, I think, about $45 a year. So that's why I kind of have that distinction there. Whereas Symphonic, there's like you can't really do that. So that's why I think LANDR is a little bit better, because it gives you a little bit more room for growth when it comes to number of artists. Now, YouTube Content ID, how do these platforms stack up with YouTube Content ID? So YouTube Content ID lets artists claim royalties whenever their copyrighted music appears on YouTube. This means getting paid each time anyone uploads your performances or uses samples of your music in their videos. Using your music on YouTube, you will earn a cut of that revenue. And so they both offer YouTube Content ID. That's really awesome. Symphonic just takes a 30% cut, and LANDR takes a 20% cut. So with LANDR, you keep a little bit more of your YouTube Content ID revenue. And payment splitting. So if you're collaborating with someone and you want to split the royalty payments automatically, this is really huge, right? Because that's a big headache if you're trying to decide, you know, if it's like 60-40 or 50-50, like how you decide, you know, who gets paid and how do you pay the person their cut at that point in time. Well, with both LANDR and Symphonic, they offer free payment splitting, so that's really great. So they tie here, and they have a really good service here. Then there's cover song licensing. So how these compare when it comes to cover songs. So with LANDR, it's a $15 one-time fee, so you just pay $15 one time, and they handle all that legal stuff for you. They get the mechanical license and all that stuff for you, so that when you release your music to platforms, number one, it's legal. You don't have to worry about anyone coming after you, and you can earn royalties as well, just like if it was one of your regular songs. So that is really awesome. Symphonic also offers this service. It's $14.99 per release, so about basically the same upfront fee. But then they also charge some royalties per license, so they will actually collect some of the royalties there. So because of that, LANDR edges out Symphonic here. But it's still really nice that Symphonic offers this, because a lot of platforms don't offer any support for cover song licensing. You have to go hunt it down yourself, or if you're a platform like United Masters, you can't even upload cover songs. So both pretty good here. Speed to Apple and Spotify. So Symphonic takes about 3+ days. So I don't know what the plus means there. LANDR is 7 days with their cheapest plan here. They're it's 2 days, I believe, if you were to upgrade. So I guess it looks like Symphonic's a little bit faster here, but I don't know what 3+ days means, because that could end up being right around 7 days. But we'll go ahead and say Symphonic is the winner here in terms of speed. So then what happens if you cancel? Well, with LANDR, it reverts to an 85-15% split. So your music stays up on all your platforms if you cancel, or something happens to your credit card and you can't keep paying, or you just hate subscriptions, you want to cancel your subscription, your music will stay up on all the platforms, which is incredible. It just reverts to 85-15% split. So you still keep 85% of the royalties, right? LANDR only takes 15%. Spoiler alert, LANDR has the #1 best cancellation plan out of all the different distributors. With Symphonic and most of the other distributors, your music will just get taken down if you stop paying your subscription. So that is kind of a huge bummer. You feel a little bit kind of held hostage there, because if you want your music to stay up, you got to keep paying forever. So LANDR is the clear winner here. So who is the overall winner then? Well, just to recap, they tie in terms of pricing. Symphonic's a little bit cheaper per year, $4 per year cheaper, but LANDR gives you the flexible option, so I'd say they kind of tie. Earnings, they're a tie. Distribution, Symphonic does distribute to a few more platforms, but they both distribute to over 150 plus, so I think that's kind of a wash, but we'll go ahead and say Symphonic's the winner there. Number of artist profiles, they technically tie, but if you want to upgrade, or if you want to release under more than one artist with Symphonic, you have to upgrade to their partner program, which you have to apply for, and I believe they take a 15% cut of your music as well. So now you're not keeping all of your royalties, or if you keep with the starter, you have to sign up with a whole new account, and now you're doubling or tripling what you're paying per year depending on how many artists you want to release music under. Whereas with LANDR, they have a much more flexible option. You just upgrade to their middle tier, which is just a little bit more per year. You're paying $45 per year versus $24 per year, and you get 5 artists you can upload music under. So that's why I say LANDR is the slight winner there. YouTube Content ID, they're basically really good at this, but LANDR, you keep a little bit more of your royalties, so I'd say they're the slight winner there. Payment splitting, they both tie. YouTube Content ID, they're both pretty good here, but LANDR takes a smaller commission from your music. They only take a 20% commission, whereas Symphonic takes 30%. Payment splitting, they tie. They both offer free payment splitting, which is awesome. Cover song license, they're both pretty good, but with LANDR, it's just a one-time $15 fee, whereas with Symphonic, they have that $15 fee, but then they also take royalties from your covers, whereas LANDR, they don't take any royalties. So you keep 100% of whatever streaming royalties you get from your cover song. So LANDR wins there. Speed of delivery, Symphonic's a little bit faster, it looks like. And then cancellation policy, LANDR is definitely the best, because even if you cancel, your music stays up on all the platforms forever. LANDR just takes a 15% cut. With Symphonic, your music is taken down. So Symphonic looks pretty good to me, but I think the overall clear winner is LANDR, which is why I use it myself. And you can save even more off your LANDR subscription if you go to use my link, which is orpheusaudioacademy.com/LANDR, and you can get 20% off your first year to save even more. So definitely use my link if you decide to sign up with LANDR. Now, if you're still not convinced on what music distributor to sign up with, I actually did a video comparing the top 8 music distributors and how they compare and how they stack up, and I chose the overall winner. So you can click the box on the screen right now to go check out that video now. Otherwise, have an awesome day, keep creating, and I'll see you in a future video.